We'll have everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning and welcome to everybody. October 29th Board of Commissioner meeting. Roll call, please. Mary.
Rhodes.
Present.
Bowman.
Present.
Ott.
Here.
Syke.
Present.
Obermeyer.
Here also, proof of public, open meeting law is posted on the south side of our chambers. It is in the hallway outside of our chambers and also on our website. Proof of publication was on the website October 22nd, in the paper October 25th, and it is also posted in the hallway outside of our chambers. Next up, we need to review and approve the minutes of the October 15th Board of Commissioner meeting.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thanks, gentlemen. Any other discussion? Roll call, please, ma'am.
Bowman.
Yes.
Syke.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Ott.
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes. And next up, adopt today's agenda.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Ott.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Syke.
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes. Just a note on the agenda, if anybody had seen it late last week, there was an item on there, it's called Planet Technologies. That's actually just a bill. It was a misunderstanding. A bill that we'll take up in the claims to take care of. So, officials forum. Anybody want to talk prior to all the other agenda items? Morning, Harv.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We're just laying roads, hauling gravel, putting bases and posts up for the stop sign study is basically where we're at right now. In the works is a haul road agreement with Precision Pipeline because they're going to start on that CO2 pipeline pretty quick. It's in Gary's hands right now. Once he gives us our approval, we'll get that rolling forward. Overlays, I talked to the engineer yesterday about them. I have to contact him this morning and we'll have them ready for the 26th. Other than that, it's just a wonderful day in the neighborhood.
Wonderful windy day.
Yeah, it's still a wonderful day. We're all right.
But you just had a date off there. You mean the last meeting is 29th, right? Is that?
It'll be the 29th.
29th.
Yes, I have my calendar.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't know if there was something else.
No.
Perfect.
That'll be-
Okay. Of November, I should say.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you. Any
You bet.
questions of Harv? Thanks, Harv.
You bet.
Any other officials this morning?
Lori Byers, our county agent.
Morning, Lori.
Just a couple of things. Just wanted to, remind everybody that right now is open enrollment for Medicare Part D. We are doing a on-site appointment type event in McCool this Friday afternoon. And next Tuesday, we are doing it at the York Senior Center. People can call our office and get an appointment with me and Christina in order to get those lookups done. They're free. And we used to do everything buy locally when we were cooking at the senior center, so we used to use Grand Central, which we had an account at. And so now that it's no longer locally owned, we've been kind of moving around to kind of cheapen our purchases to make it more affordable. And so we're in need of another credit card for the person who would purchase that. Our cook goes out and purchases the food. And so I wanted to see if we could get a credit card in her name as well. So I don't know if that's something I need to put on the agenda or talk to you later, or what you want to do about that.
Is the businesses that we're dealing with to purchase these, Grand Central obviously probably did it on account basis, did they not?
They did, and
Okay.
the places that we go to, they'll do a tax exempt thing, but they won't do a charge.
But they won't do a charge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, I am purchasing it with the credit card I have and then picking it up and bringing it in, but sometimes she goes when I, and she's there and she makes other purchases and then she has to get reimbursement, which kind of puts a financial burden on her.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay. All right.
afterward. Go ahead, Jack.
I have a question. What was the dates that you gave for?
Open it, this Friday is in the pool, and next Tuesday, the 5th, I'm at the York Senior Center.
And you can make the appointment that time.
Yes, they just call our office and people can make an appointment and then they'll meet me over at the Senior Center. We've already done all the other locations.
All right, thank you.
Bringing up the call in the office, Laurie, I have had a couple calls again about that. Is our automation system, as far as you know, working, or is it just confusing some?
I think it's confusing some, plus I do need to clarify our nightly auto attendant because it is slightly different than the daytime one, and I think that's the one that is confusing.
Okay, so when they
Because
call
I called
in,
the office at night one time, and, that's a different recording, so
is there any way of changing?
if there is, yeah,
Okay.
I can change that
That
myself.
would be great, because it seems that those, it seems they're calling and then they're getting lost, and it should be as simple as
Press
one or
two.
two or
Yeah.
whatever they want, because it's explaining it, right? I haven't called it, but
The night one does not say press 2. They can press any number and get anybody, it just says leave a message.
yeah, if we could straighten that out, I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Lori. Any other, hold on just a minute, Bill, any other, we're in officials right now, Bill. I know
Okay.
you're excited to get up there, but
Okay.
just in case there's any other officials, Gary, Tristan, either one. Okay, the floor will be yours now.
Okay.
Public forum, anybody that'd like to come forward for public forum can come up and talk for a couple minutes on a subject that is either on the agenda or not.
I'm
just-
William Clark,
Perfect, and address if you would, please.
and I live in Perma, Nebraska, but I come to York all the time anyhow and shop here. So, I spent 4 years in the United States Air Force, and I was on the Atlas F missile cruise like you have out here. I was stationed at Portland, that was my home base for that 2 years. So we had launch codes and algorithms for decoding launch codes and stuff. So when I started looking at these codes and algorithms showing up in some of these states, they found out that New York State, New Jersey, Wisconsin now, and then Penn State, they've got these algorithms inside the voting machine. It's like an octopus. You're out chasing all these other things now on ballots and stuff in the ballot box. It's all in the machine itself. We started corresponding. Steve Halloran is on the legislative committee down here in Lincoln and oversees the Secretary of State of the voting machine. I talked to him a little bit, and then I think 9/19, I sent a letter to the Attorney General about these, and then also the Secretary of State. And then they had a hearing down there on the voting machines on 9/19 of this year, and he didn't even show up, just his assistant, and they wouldn't allow any only testimony by invitation only. That's why I wrote the Attorney General, get an invitation, or get somebody that knows algorithms at a high level, whether it's CIA or NSA cryptographers. They wouldn't do that, so that's why, so I went ahead and set this stuff on the 25th of this last month to Mike Foley to do an audit of the machines. So I sent him all the stuff I sent to the Secretary of State. I got a stack about this big to look at those machines, and maybe they can do something before the election. Whether they can or not, I don't know. But but that's the main thing, is get to look at the machines, and he's put it off for a year. Steve Halloran and that board has tried for the last year to get him to look at those machines outside, to check them, to make sure there's no algorithms, and he refused to do it. The Secretary of State refused. So they've been trying for the last year, the legislative committee that oversees that. So I just kind of went the other way around and started looking at it this way. If they can't get him to do it, then it's come back to you, the County Board of Supervisors. They just had a case, took 2 years to get through the courts, the Federal District Court in Arizona. One Board of County Supervisors refused to certify the election because of fraud until they do a manual count by ballot. And you can do that. Stop it and do a manual count. I don't think he had the trouble here, but Sarby, Douglas, and Lancaster could have trouble with the mail-in ballots. But that machine can change those ballots inside that machine from one party to the other very easily. And you can't find it unless you're a cryptologist. That's why I got documentation here, just a little bit. And Ohio Secretary of State is the only Secretary of State in the United States that's let his machines be done, and he knows they're corrupted real bad, so they got law firms already. And he has not designated, they only got 3 counties that have the algorithms in Ohio, but it's all the high population. And then so if he doesn't do a manual count in those 3 counties, they're gonna start suing to lock up the election until they do a manual count in those counties to get away from those machines, because they know the algorithms are in them. So you think, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, now they're going to Texas and Arizona. Arizona's had a lot of trouble, and they're gonna do, I know they got trouble in Texas already too, so they're doing an audit of some of the ones there. So this race is really about the Senate seats and House seats, just as well as the presidential. So that's the main thing. They come out of the Arizona federal district judge down there says you cannot, they discontinued the county, Cochise County last year, 2 years ago in the election cycle, because they said your votes don't count in that whole county, so it violated the 14th Amendment. So any county board can lock up and demand a hand count of the elections without using machines, and they gotta do it. So don't let any Secretary of State do otherwise. They've already had trouble, well, in Arizona, but they also having trouble in Texas with the Secretary of State wanting to let everybody register, and Georgia too. So it's really up to you, the county level, to take care of the integrity. If there's a question down in Lincoln, if you see anything crazy going on with the voting machine, and it's up to the county level to protest too, just as well as I ask for administrative solution, not a legal. Stay out of the courts and stay away from the lawyers as much as possible. That's the whole dang thing. That's why I've been writing, keep the damn thing out of the court system. And you can do things before, contest the election before it is certified. You guys got to certify here. You got to certify Lincoln or do the contesting right away if there's anything before it's certified. Then it's not insurrection. You start doing all these other lawsuits like they have for the last 4 years, 100 of them, but they don't go anyplace because you ain't got standing in a court of law. So the main thing is the counties can do that. And the federal court down there is just coming with the 27th of September, that ruling from there that you can't stop. Any commissioner or any county can stop it and do a manual count away from those machines. So I got it in there so you can look at it in your spare time. I'm trying to condense it in 3-4 minutes. It's pretty hard. And I've been kind of looking at this since August. So I didn't really get into this much until, but I knew the background. Once I seen it, I knew what was going on when I started reading those algorithms, because that's what we kind of looked at when we were in the military. So that's the reason I picked up on it in a hurry, and I haven't done anything with it for 40 years. So thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you, sir. Anybody else from the public at this point in time would like to step forward? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners. Cindy Neighbor, 1017 Road K, York, Nebraska. And I'm here today to offer support for the 2 juvenile diversion federal grants. I work at the York Housing Authority. I have visited with Tristan and Gary about the 2 grants. I feel that their data is right on target. I worry about youth and their understanding of what they do now could affect them for the rest of their lives. At the Housing Authority, we have a hard and fast rule about drug use. And if a family member is arrested for a possession or a use, that stays on their record as far as the Housing Authority goes, even if they go through the diversion, even if they go through drug court. Federal's pretty tough on us about that if there's drugs and we have federal dollars, we cannot house that family. So for example, if we are housing a family on one of our programs, and one of the family members, under 18, is charged with possession of a drug, and it can be marijuana, it can be meth, it can be cocaine, that family member has to leave the household, or the whole household has to leave our program. So I would like to see both of these grants. I think the mental health is a big issue in our community. And I see that the larger grant has the mental health services in there, and they could bring the resources to schools for counseling. The suicide rate, we saw that a number of years ago, was pretty bad in our high school. I think that this grant would be able to help with some of that too. Rural communities don't have the resources that large communities have. Lincoln has a lot of resources. In our community, we have some good resources, but we don't have everything that's available to people in larger communities. So I really think these grants could bring some more of those services into our community. I think that the counseling could also help some of the adults in talking to their children about some of these issues that they're experiencing. Social media is really tough on youth, and if they found a voice to talk to their children about the effects of it, you just can't brush it off. I don't care if anybody says that, you hate my outfit on social media. That doesn't bother me. But for a young person, that's a tough one to get through. So I would like to see that. So I just wanted to offer my support. I really think it would make a difference in our community.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public this morning?
Willard Peterson, 514 Road 13, York, Nebraska, but I am from Bradshaw. Ask the Postal Service why I have to say York. Anyway, I have one more thing than what I was going to talk about, and it has to do with this lady that just spoke. Amen. If you don't get that, that means I would totally support what she said. Okay, the other thing is about a shovel or something else. The county, what do you call them? I call them a maintainer. What are you supposed to call them?
Road grader.
Road grader. The county road grader that's in Bradshaw, Nebraska, the person that runs that road grader needs a shovel because he needs to be able to dig a hole in his building because there is no place to go to the bathroom.
Anybody else from the public this morning? Seeing nobody else get up, we'll go ahead and head down the agenda. We do have a 9 o'clock today, so we're going to do a couple things prior to, and then we'll break out as a board equalization and come back to a couple of the bigger items. But first off, we do have a general assistance case this morning, so I would entertain a motion to go into executive session at 8:49 to prevent the needless harm and injury to an individual.
So move.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, and once again, we're going into executive session to prevent the needless harm to an individual, and we'll ask the county attorney to stay here with us, please, and also the general assistance administrator, Chandra Nuss.